thanks. At a time when comedy's in and comedians are plentiful, Elayne Boosler continues to stand out from the crowd. Her latest comedy special set to air on Showtime Cable. It's called Elayne Boosler, Top Tomata. And it's set to originate from that entertainment capital known as Omaha, Nebraska. We're going to get to Omaha in a second, but you got a green room answer for me.
Yes, Elvis called while you were on, and what I believe it was that acts waited in the room to go on, and they were very nervous before they went on, and they were ill, and they were green.
Got green.
And they called it the green room because of nausea, actually.
That's probably it.
I know they named it after me, probably, but that's what I've heard it is.
Probably it.
So.
Okay. Why Omaha? Come on, talk to me.
Hey, where do you go after Broadway? I wanted to get as far away from the union, but I had to make some money on this show. It's turning out to be more expensive in Omaha. I just feel, because I travel the country all year.
You do a lot of clubs.
And a lot of cities like Omaha and Springfield and Wichita and Kansas City, and no one understands the middle of the country. There's this kind of prejudice from the coasts in and the middle out. And I thought it would be very nice to do this kind of act from just the heart of the country and let people see that it's not a strange land.
Do you change the act for the heart of the country? I mean, a lot of people on the coast would say, well, they're not hip in Omaha,
but
so
that's
you got
not
to change
true.
things.
You know, with CNN and cable and USA Today, it's such a global backyard now. It's not just, you know, farmer news or anything. So it's one country. I mean, it's kind of sad that you lose all the regional differences, but it's unified, and I think people should see that.
Why are you going to do this live?
Because it's kind of political, and I think if it was taped, people would think, well, we fixed it first, and we put laughs where there might not have been some. I think to take the chance and go live to the heart of the country would maybe show people that the loud, illogical faction of America that's kind of trying to infringe on a lot of people's rights is just a very loud minority, and I think it's nice for them to see that the heart of America is very smart.
Good point.
Yeah.
Well taken. When you do these kinds of shows, and you've already had two on Showtime already.
Showtime.
Yeah. and they did good, which is why you're allowed to go ahead and do this one live from Omaha.
I wish Showtime was on Manhattan Cable. They're just breaking in after so many years, so people in Manhattan don't know you
see how
as
good
well.
you are.
They said they had no room, but they had room for Channel J.
Were we watching?
Oh, yes. Everyone's always flicking by and you stop for a second, and it's kind of the sex channel, and there's women. And
kind of the sex channel.
Kind of the sex channel. And, well, the women, of course, advertise, and they always pick up the phone and they say, call me. And I think, well, hang up the phone.
When you do a show like you're going to do in Omaha, will you have tried all of that stuff somewhere?
Well, yes, I start in New York this week at Caroline's, and then I make my way across the country talking slower and slower and slower as I go. I hit Baton Rouge over the weekend, and then North Carolina, if it's still there next week, and then Omaha. And most of it will be done, although I expect, since it's live, there'll be some spontaneity.
Yeah. You work very, very hard. You write, you direct, you're doing some producing now.
I've knitted many sweaters.
You've knitted and everything else. Do you think you're naturally funny?
Sometimes. Yeah, I guess I am. I can't say it's like you can do it every time, but yeah.
I mean, the reason I asked that is because I had heard that you get most of your material when you pick up the morning paper like this, and you just kind of walk through things and say, you know, well, I'll make a joke with this and with that.
Kind of, you know, people think you're looking for funny articles, and that's not it. You're looking at what sticks in your throat, and you say, oh, I can't believe this, and, you know, I've got to talk about this, and then it comes out kind of with an interesting slant, but it's not necessarily a funny article.
Yeah, but I mean, like, for example, you'd see a lot of humor in something like PTL Trial that has two characters like Baker and Falwell.
Well, you know, I mean, the first time when Swaggart was on TV crying, and I turned it on, and I didn't know that he had had sex with someone. I just thought his conscience finally caught up with him for taking all that money from poor people and keeping it. You know, he's crying his eyes out. I said, good. And then I realized, of course, you know, boy.
I'm not going to let you go without one thing that was on the top of this paper. Let us take a look at the top story there. Okay?
No.
Cub fans, I know the New York Mutts are your favorite team.
Why do you call them that? It breaks my heart.
Do you have some well-chosen words on the embarrassing demise of your favorite ball club?
You know, if you've been married a long time, sometimes your wife doesn't feel good. You don't leave her. You know, you're a fan is a fan. And I'm still with the Mets, and I'm looking forward to next year, and maybe I can get some real cheap box seats now.
I bet you can do that.
I hope so.
Did I say that your special is on October the 7th? At 10 p.m. on show.
Oh, is it? I've got to start putting on makeup. Oh.
Elayne, take care of yourself.
Thanks a lot.
8:43. We're back tomorrow right after this.